Good morning. It's Sunday, and it's November 15th, 2025 at 7:26 a.m. And I'm almost at the bottom of my first cup of coffee. I haven't done much this morning because I haven't been up long. But I've already noticed, just by going on social media briefly, that the negative media saturation is proving harmful. You've either got to be very thick skinned or completely ignorant. And I don't mean ignorant in a negative way, but more like, I don't know. I've never had a television or a phone. I've never had my eyes open. That sort of ignorant. It's like I've always looked at the world through rose-colored glasses. I think that's something I've been doing most of my life. But the only reason I look at the world through rose-colored glasses is because I can see behind the veil of control that this collective system of human beings is looking at, and go, yeah, but I don't know. What's the solution? You can't unplug. I mean, that's like, it's the Kevorkian remedy that I'm seeing around me that is allowing the spiral down, which, I mean, okay, two words that get bandied around, and I mean, I've been absolutely 100% saying them for years, is awake me, and then, awake and aware. And they even made those become tools against the people who are actually awake. Oh, you're woke. And they use it against you. It's like, oh, you're aware. It's like there's the labeling of your human experience. Hello. Good day, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. Has it been any different? Well, yeah, of course. How's it been any different? Well, coercion is the word. I mean, we've been coerced into believing that what you're saying. Who? Yeah, you in the orange shirt. What you're saying is more important than what they're saying. You should just ignore them, be ignorant of their controls, but then you can go out into the world and spend $500 on a cup of coffee. It's like, wait a minute. So it's all about balanced interaction. Balanced interaction. Are you doing what your will? Do what thou wilt. Well, no, it's not that, is it? Because we have knee-jerk reactions. So it's like, oh, wait a minute. That can, one knee-jerk reaction by an idiot can escalate as dominoes do in a domino fall, And we've got idiots in charge. self-proclaimed in charge and self-proclaimed idiots, but they're in charge of themselves, and they don't mind knocking over that first domino, right? I remember. Okay, going to go into comedic mode because this is starting to look like I too am enjoying the spiral, but I'm not. But I am aware that overload and overwhelmedness, if that's a word, which it probably isn't, but being overwhelmed by the external pressures is not when you completely disengage. You just make your own filter, right? So your own filter is one of, I just don't believe that rubbish, you know? So you just turn it off and turn it on and turn it off and turn it on. So we're in this fluctuation. But the thing is, they want you to fluctuate wider and wider. So it's like, open up, you know, here's the news. It's okay. It's not bad news. We're going to show you a picture of a dog on a skateboard, and we're going to show it. And it's like, oh, look, that's so cute. A dog on a skateboard at Venice Beach. And you're watching it and you think, oh, and then before long, you're watching it and you're smiling. And then, boom, a great big explosion goes off and the dog falls off and there's blood everywhere. It's like, oh, my God, what are they doing? Everything I've watched recently, no, that's not true. Most things that I've watched recently on streaming media, which is no different from any other media, it's just media. This is media. What I'm doing now is media, right? Who's that? Oh, it's media. Most of what I've seen, and I mean, there was a good example of it yesterday, you know, sort of sitting in the rain, thinking, well, I might as well just watch something on telly, you know, watch something on the old goggle box, stay dry. So I couldn't find anything that was really anything but peppered with propaganda. I mean, anything new over the last, anything that's been produced in a TV series. I mean, even the good stuff. I mean, I loved the TV series Slow Horses because I like the acting, the writing, the comedic underlying tone of all of it. But at the same time, it was like, there's something in there that's quite disturbing. I mean, but I don't mind being disturbed and awakened by watching a TV series, but they always pepper it with this propagandist nonsense, you know, and product placement. It's like you can see they've taken the idea. I used to work in film, and whenever we're doing something, let's say it was a commercial for X, they'll make sure that other things are in the commercial that, you know, and it's a commercial for a lifestyle. Most commercials are commercials for a lifestyle, and the ones that were getting the best funding and making some of the best shots of beauty and lifestyle and people being happy, and some of those were the better funded ones were pharmaceutical ads. Yeah, pharmaceutical ads telling you that you can be a happy family and multinational and sporting and having a great family life and playing in the park. I mean, it just became so blatant and obvious that they were selling a lifestyle. But it's not the blatant and obvious I'm trying to point out. The blatant and obvious is the news. The news cycle. It's there's no subtlety to it anymore. It's not like you know, today we witnessed a weather change. Okay, well, we witnessed no, there's no weather changes anymore. Storm watch. That's what they have instead. Please. The exaggerated is there to control you. It's fear versus life, love, liberty. It's fear. They want to put a little bit of fear in there. That way they've got you going, oh, better not go out today. It's gonna sun. It's gonna rain. It's gonna snow. But then you look at it, you're like, oh my God. Yes, that might be true. Oh my God. But are they making the weather? Is that weaponized? Is the weather? Do you believe that the weather might be weaponized? Well, I'm going to look into it. So you look at DARPA, you look at all these things, you look at different ways in which they're seeding certain parts of clouds, and you're like, well, they are trying to manipulate the weather, but it's not negative. They're doing it to make the crops grow and make it's down and down and down and down the rabbit holes until you reach a certain point and you go, wait a minute. How do you counter this saturation in the news? How do you counter that? I mean, bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. I don't know. I do it. But of course, the people I interact with, closest to me, my loved ones, they always, so you can always tell they're interested. But if you start going into specific details of things that you've discovered about the control system, you can see them going, well, I don't agree with that. And you see them gradually, go back away from the conversation, or you see their eyes glaze over and then they start looking around and look down at their phone, or it's like, okay, no, I understand. I mean, there's only a certain amount you can let in before you get drowned in this TV snow. It's pervasive. It's all pervasive, and it's pervasive for a reason too. It wants you to feel like poor little me. Well, you're not. You are as powerful as every individual that you give power to. Think about that for a sec. Just sit with it. Acquiesce. Are you acquiescing to a system of controls that you don't agree with? And if you are, what can you do about it? And I don't want instant rebels. I don't want violence on the streets. There's no need for any of that shit. You just got to take control of your own life and go, within the scope of this situation, I am going to be the one that really understands who I am. And I'm going to stick to my middle path of allowing love into my life and recognizing that it comes and emanates from my heart out into the world. But I'm going to keep it as beautifully within my specific being. I made a joke today when I said good morning to my family. I write good morning every morning and I write good night every night if I can remember, and if I forget, I'm sorry, but I try and do it as a habitual thing to remind them that it's good, right? Rather than to remind them that it's bad. Bad morning, bad night. It's like, stop. I'm not just being knee jerk when I say things like that. I've actually given it great thought, but my my good morning this morning was stolen from one of the characters on the Fast show, which is a very funny comedy show. But I've been watching clips from it, and they had lots of very silly repeated sketches that kind of echo that idea, because they're repeated, the idea that this is funny, so I'm going to do it all the time. Going to be, but there was a darkness to their humor too. But I think that I can't remember. Good morning, my loves. Today I will mostly be being. It's a reminder that we're also the judge and jury of our own lives. How can you be the judge and jury of your own life when you actually just reacting to everything else? So you have to make your own judgment, and you've got to make your own decisions. Try not to jump to judgment, because that's usually a reaction. So make it an actionable thing. Actually do what you think what you want in your heart. Follow through on your desire. If your desire is to control others, well, good luck with that, because you can't. You can only influence. But the influence has grown and grown and grown, and it's grown through. Okay, let's take specifically mainstream media, which has moved from the industrial era, prior to the first industrial revolution. It's continuing, but the first industrial revolution gave us the printing press. Oh my God. Did that open a door? Well, yeah, of course it did. In Britain, when they had control of the press, there was a certain specific street called Fleet Street, and they controlled the news. And the biggest owner of any of the news in the late 1800s or mid 1800s was Lord Beaverbrook. But the point is, as soon as you're reaching a wide audience, you're gonna get propaganda. Why? Because it's that person's narrow insight into what's going on in the world, or their idea that they know what's best because they've got all of the news coming in from correspondents who are ticker taping the news. So in a way, the first part of newspapers and journalism was just reading Reuters or Associated Press or whatever you want to call these people, reading the journalists like ticker type, and they couldn't put in like vast swaths of lies. They put in headlines because they'd be witnessing something specific. So you get all these foreign journalists, just sending to the newspaper something direct that's happened directly to those people. So how do you make that interesting for people who live 1,000 miles, 6,000 miles away? How do you make the news in, let's say, Nepal? How do you make the news in New York, specifically like in New York City? How do you make that interesting for people who live in Cheltenham, England. So in those days, it would be like there was an Easter parade in New York City, and women were smoking cigarettes. Right, that's the ticker type coming in, right? Well, how can you make that interesting in London, or in England, or in Cheltenham, with small town Cheltenham? People are just like, oh. So things were happening worldwide that were reported on, but most people didn't really read the newspapers that much. It would be a headline. So there have to be something catchy that would localize the news a little bit. So the editors got very clever, and they made sure that they incorporated their readership, because every time they sold a newspaper, they made money, right? So the more newspapers, physical newspapers, but that grew. Oh, that grew beyond. Well, if I can control the news, I can control people's perception of the world. I mean, not everybody can be in every point of the world. So if we say there's a war over here, I mean, if I'm going to say something about the media, that although it's flawed in its writing and it's flawed in its delivery, I think everyone should watch a movie called Wag the Dog. That's my recommendation. I think just because of where we are and the control system where it is, I think everybody should be watching a film called Wag the Dog for entertainment purposes, but also for like a look behind the scenes of how manipulative the news media can be. All right. I mean, I'm not attacking media, because I use media. I use this platform to promote my music. I've kind of realized that my music is not everybody's taste, so I understand that. But you can find my music, Tunnelmental, Tunnelmental. But the reason I do my daily chats to the screen is not to hear. I'm not doing it to hear my own voice. I'm not doing this to recognize that I am a great actor in a small movie. No, I'm doing it because I think that once you lift the veil, you can get very overwhelmed. But you have to lift the veil. I'm sorry, but it's just done. This system is done. Put a fork in it. It's done. You can't control me, and I can't control you. And recognizing that is very, very important individually. And then collectively, you start to recognize how many people are actually standing on their own 2 feet, are actually living their life according to their principles and not swaying. I mean, we need to sway a little, because otherwise they'll snap you like a twig. But the swaying motion is just within this frequency that we're living in. Don't keep being pushed to the extremes. I'm over here. Wait a minute. Oh my God, it's really bad. Oh, I'm over here. Oh my God, it's really bad. No. Find something you love, you dearly love. Oh, looking straight into the light. Okay, find something you really love. And then put your energies into that. And then let love grow. Don't stifle it with your controls. Be open to the idea that love is the opposite of fear. Unconditional love. Live, love, life. There you go. Very sincere. I love you. I live, love, life. All right.